So give the audience a quick 30-second description of what OnGig is first.
Sure thing. So if you're a growing company, your recruiters and hiring managers are spending a ton of time either writing or copying and pasting their job descriptions. And most end up being boring. Some are even biased, excluding candidates who may be the best candidates from even applying. So not only might you be embarrassed by your job descriptions, you're losing out on the best candidates too. But you can't expect your team, recruiters, hiring managers, TA team, anyone, to be copywriters. You're not an ad agency. Maybe if you are, you're lucky enough to borrow a copywriter. I'm pretty sure most of you are not ad agencies. So your hiring team needs some help. They need some JD writing help. And think of OnGig as a spell checker for boring and biased words in your job descriptions. And today I wanted to show it to you live in action.
All right. Well, let's see this thing. Go ahead and share your screen.
All right.
And we'll get rolling here.
Yeah, give me the prompt where to share.
Just mouse over your photo and you'll see your icons there.
There you go. Thank you for the reminder. It's only my second time using Crowdcast.io. Seems like a nice app.
Yeah, I like it. Versus a Zoom where people can follow you and get notified, and they can easily hear them. So it's a great platform for that.
How's it looking? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Great. So let's look at Tesla. So we're in the OnGig app right now, and we're looking at a Tesla job description. And this is not to pick on Tesla. They do a lot right here, but I thought it'd be a great example and show you how things work in some of the areas of value. Notice everything as you're watching this, everything is live, real time. The scores are going to be changing. I think you'll notice as we dive in. So the first thing, we're looking at a global supply manager, fasteners, and you'll notice that we flag certain amounts of words. Down here, we're flagging masculine words, we're flagging feminine words, and some other things. You'll also notice there's a total score. All these scores will be changing as you watch them. So let's go look at a couple of these flagged words. When you get a flagged word underlined here, objectives, our data shows here that this is a word that attracts men more than women. So instead of using that word, you've got synonyms to swap right in: priorities, targets, goals. These are words that attract women more than men. If you want to tilt the scales and attract more female candidates, your scores go up accordingly. Same thing with competitive. Women respond better to terms like attractive, fair, results-oriented, enthusiastic. By the way, this is not meant to say that women aren't competitive, but as a cohort and marketing-wise, which is what OnGig software is, marketing software for recruiters and TA teams, we're telling you our data is showing that women will respond better to results-oriented and fair and attractive and so forth. And your scores improve here. You'll also notice down that's a little bit on gender bias. If your goal is to attract more women, that might be useful for you. You notice you can click on any of these words here on the right, by the way, and it goes right over to the actual term. So in this case, the term is he, she. Sounds fine enough. In the early days when I was growing up, it was kind of a he world, unfortunately. It moved to he, she, which sounds fine. But unfortunately, the majority right now of millennials and the new generations of candidates actually consider most people on a spectrum. And so even he, she language now needs to be replaced if you want to be inclusive to Gen Z, millennials, and the hottest new candidates. So we recommend they, you. By the way, first person is usually better anyway.
I always like you as the first person when you're talking to a job
center.
Yep. Like that.
Exactly. Make it more conversational. That's sort of copywriting 101, advertising 101 is to use that, but most employers make the mistake of using third-party language instead. So let's go look at another example here, another job description. These are all from Tesla. We just grabbed them from the career site. Airbag design engineer. Sounds like a fun job. So in this case, we're flagging the phrase recent graduate. This is a little more nuanced. So in this case, you'll notice the explainer here Say if you use this phrase mentioning a recent degree or graduate, make sure you're not doing so in the context of excluding older people. Okay. And if you use this language, you might get in trouble with age discrimination laws. Google's been sued a number of times for this exact problem. Mm-hmm. So even more nuanced to help be inclusive, of course, to anyone of any age, but also keep you out of lawsuits. Last I checked, most of us want to keep out of the courts. Let's go look at another example here, which is physical disability language. Now, Tesla's doing a better than average job here in their physical disability language. Of course, they're trying to comply with the Disabilities Act and laws. But even on these, where they did a pretty good job, they're putting in the lift 50 pounds and all of that. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but when you hover over this, you'll get the logic again here, which is that if you are putting in these requirements, you want to call them essential requirements and skills, as opposed to just physical demands in work environment. That's okay, but it can be even better. So again, in this case, we're keeping you out of trouble and a lawsuit.
So what's the replacement phrase then? You said
it should be essential and essential requirements. And lawsuits have been won or lost based on literally just the word essential or not. So that's to be EEO compliant. Let's hop over to look at this example here. All right, let me just reload this page. All right, we're going to go look at this next. So as well, you'll notice that beyond the bias, there's a couple other tabs here, word choice and readability. So a couple things to flag here. We flag any words that are unnecessarily complex. So see all these, the ideal candidate, individual, sufficient, additional. They all sound fine. Most of your candidates would know what these words mean, but we call them unnecessarily complex. If you go to the ideal candidate, again, to Chris's point, notice we say you might want to use you instead. Well, why is that important? Okay, it saves 2 words. That's pretty good. But also, I'm not sure how many of you know this, know much about neurodiversity, which includes anyone with a slight learning disability, folks on the spectrum of autism. It turns out, for instance, Bill Gates has dyslexia. Very hard for him to read, even though he's an avid reader. I've met him a couple times, and I know this firsthand. He and anyone with even slight dyslexia have a problem reading multiple syllable words. They'll get through them. It just takes them longer. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure most of you would like a young Bill Gates. I sure would, as our head of IT mm-hmm. or developer. And so we end up giving you replacement words to make it much punchier content. One client called it like having a mini Don Draper on your shoulder from Mad Men. Mm-hmm. To help you, again, you can't be a copywriter, but we've got software to help you do that. You'll also notice down here, we'll tell you if you're in the danger zone for being too long on your job description. So we've got data that shows when a candidate finds it too long. And they're okay here. You see they're just in the yellow. Everything's in the red, yellow, green.
So kind 700 words there, looks like. So
yep. So they're okay, but many, and Tesla was actually outstanding in this area. 9 out of 10 employers have many job descriptions that are way too long. Some have ones that are too short. If you're doing it at scale, we often find job descriptions with either 100 words in them or 2,000 words. Same company. And that's usually an aha moment for the TA leaders. That's a large enterprise, of course. And let's now look at titles for a second. Okay. So you'll also notice I just did that live just to show you how it works. Let's say you're looking to use the optimal title and start from scratch writing a job description. Mm-hmm. Just look over on the right-hand column here as I finish up writing this. Desktop support technician. We then go right out to our proprietary database of what candidates are Googling. on this related sort of job title, and we then feed you that logic. So we're saying instead of desktop support technician, just an FYI, you might want to know that computer support specialist, help desk technician, and these other two get this percentage more Google searches than the one you're about to use.
I like that.
What's that?
That's a great feature. I love that.
Yeah, thank you. And again, we're giving you the logic, trying to be your guide. You may have reasons that you can't change the title, but we're feeding you some leverage in case oftentimes our clients are saying, oh, thank gosh, I always wanted to call this person a help desk technician instead. We now are giving you the data to make that argument. Same thing, by the way, for simple things like software developer. Well, sounds like a fine enough title. Software engineer and web developer are currently getting 58% and 84% more searches on Google. This not only helps you on your career site with your job description, but it helps you on LinkedIn, Indeed, Google, of course, and anywhere else because it correlates. It's comparable data.
Quick question, Rob. Is it available in multiple languages?
English only.
English only.
Currently. Yep.
Okay. And there's a question from Mandy. I'm not sure if it's for you, Rob, or one of the other presenters, but do you focus on job descriptions, or does your tool work with creating campaigns or with recruiting tools like LinkedIn Recruiter?
Yeah, great question. We do it in the skin of a job description, but everything we just showed you, including, I guess, the easiest way to look at it is this blank slate that we were just typing into. Everything here, I'll just show you an interesting one. Let's say you had a requirement, or this is just useful to anything. Let's say someone's going to run a lunch and learn session, and you're going to type this in an email. Run a brown bag teaching session, training session. You can use this in email. You can use this on something you're about to do on your InMail. Notice that it had a flag, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, of course, this is unconscious bias. Turns out that the brown paper bag test was a way to measure the color of one's skin decades ago and is still a sensitive topic to many people of color. So answer your question, yes, you can use this for anything. We do it in the skin of a job description, but it's unlimited usage. So you can do it for, put your emails in here, put a resume in here, you name it.
Excellent. What's the pricing of something like this, Jim? Hey, Rob?
Yeah, the pricing ranges from about $11K per year US on up to the six figures per year US, flat rate, unlimited users. And the variable is the size of your company. We have tiers of companies from SMBs on up to large enterprises.
Excellent. Anything else you want to end up with here?
Yeah, the final thing is you get a dashboard look at all this. So, and this relates to what I was about to offer. Thanks again to you, Chris, and RecTech, anyone as part of your community, so they can get a little sense of this. We give you this dashboard scoring, and we flag these potentially exclusionary words in one place. Happy to, just as a thank you back for having us today, Chris. Anyone who wants to go to OnGig.com, ONGIG.com, and request a demo, just put, we'll see it if you do it today, and we'll give you a free analysis of your jobs, just like we did for Tesla here. Okay. For a handful of your jobs, not all of them. We did just a dozen or 15, it looks like, for Tesla. We're happy to do that just for you guys attending today.
Excellent. And what are those instructions again, just to reiterate?
Just go to OnGig.com and click the request a demo, any of the big buttons we put out there to get you great folks to engage with us when you're ready. And you can also, mention that RecTech, but you don't have to. We're watching closely.
Excellent. Well, Rob, appreciate it. Love the tool. Love what you're doing there around the wording. It really helps to, refine the postings this way and really know what you're doing here and tracking that next gen job seeker, right?
Thanks, Chris. Any other questions you want to relay or that folks had?
That's it, man. So we're good to go.